Well, good morning. It's another beautiful day on the farm here. We're gonna have a little bit of background noise from the drilling rig over to the north of us there, so nice to see them boys back to work and helping us all heat our homes. But speaking of heating homes, today we're gonna talk about chicken houses and how you can heat your chicken house. Lots of folks, there's different ways, lots of different ways. Speaking of houses too, look at this Charlie Brown dog house we got here yesterday. We're gonna unload that with the tractor later and find a place for it to live. So anyways, chickens are an absolute joy to keep. They really are. And they give a lot to the farm. They give a lot back to the farm. But a lot of people are hesitant to get chickens for one big reason, one big stinky reason. Chicken poop. Yeah, you girls stink. I feel like I don't actually have to tell them that. Everybody knows chicken poop absolutely stinks. So how do we manage that? Because we're, just operating out of a small chicken house. Well, we use the deep litter method. And the deep litter method is something that, if done properly, can be a saving grace. And if done poorly, can be an absolute nightmare. This is the inside of our chicken house. As you can see, we've got birds all around. We've got a roosting system. We've got some windows that face south. They capture a little bit of warmth from the morning sun. We also keep a thermometer in here, so you can see right now it's about 4.5 degrees Celsius. So now what I'm gonna do, when you think about how warm it is in here, it's -8 outside right now, +4 inside the chicken house. I just wanna show you how much heat is thrown off of this deep bedding system right now. This thermometer just has a 2.5-inch probe on it. It doesn't go very deep in there. We just chuck it in there. You can see very quickly it comes up. We're gonna leave that sit for a few minutes and we'll come back and we'll see how warm it gets, just 2 inches below the surface. So you might be wondering, how does the deep litter method generate heat? Well, if we take a handful of this, what you're seeing here is a mixture of pine shavings, which is your carbon base, and chicken manure, which is, good morning to you too, which is your nitrogen. And the beautiful thing about this is when you mix carbon and nitrogen and the proper moisture ratio, it's gonna self-generate heat. So where does the moisture come from? Well, chicken poo in and of itself is 85% water, right? So if you can balance it out with the proper amount of wood chips and keep it kind of crumbly like this, you still want a little bit of moisture in there, not a ton, you can generate quite a bit of heat. So I think our thermometer is kind of set where it's going to be. We'll just take a quick look and see where we're at. So here we are, and you can see right now it is about 16.5 degrees. And this is, like I said, just into just the surface. So now I'll dig a little bit of a hole, and we'll be able to see just how much heat is even further down. You see this nice crumbly material. This is what we're looking for. This is that great composting action we're seeing here. We'll chuck that down in there and just watch what it does. It's interesting, isn't it? Of course, I had to uncover this because the chickens ran through here, messed everything up. But right now we're at 32 degrees Celsius on the floor of the chicken house. Pretty impressive. What is usually the coldest place in the entire chicken house is generating that much heat. Here we are, we've settled out about 42, 43 degrees Celsius on the floor of the chicken house, and this is only 4 to 5 inches below the initial layer. So where some people make some mistakes with this deep litter method is that they think it's a kind of a zero input type solution. I just dump some wood chips in, the chickens poop on it, it turns into compost, and it's all just magic. No, it does require some intervention, some management, and a lot of monitoring. So if we just went through obviously some big temperature swings. And if the humidity in here gets too high, you will generate ammonia. So the easiest thing to do is just grab a quick shovel like this, and you can see I've just stirred up a little bit of the pile, get everything aerating, get everything working again. Ammonia is not your friend. It'll not only will it take your breath away, but it's also going to kill a lot of the bacteria that's working to create that compost and be bad for your chicken's health. So the premise is that I can keep adding wood chips to the pile here to balance out the amount of chicken manure. Now, what do you do if you end up in a situation like we're in where, it's lined up out the door, and eventually you get to a point where you got so much deep bedding in here that it becomes a little bit hard to even get in and get your eggs in the day? But it's okay to shovel some out and throw it in your compost pile, and it's ready there as a good starter for you in the spring. You don't want to clean the whole house completely out. There's a lot of beneficial bacteria, a lot of microbes that are in that existing pile that you want to keep continuing to work. So remove some material, add some dry material, but don't clean it completely out. Probably the best thing you can do to maintain a deep bedding system such as this is come in with a shovel and stir it up prior to putting in new wood chips. If everything is, you know, leveled out and compacted, because even though chickens do have little feet and they like to scratch, they can still compress material. If it's compacted like that and you just add another base layer of shavings on there, you will get anaerobic activity inside your pile, and it's just not going to work very well. You want it to be oxygenated, so fluff it up and then throw your new layer on there. And what the chickens will do through their scratching is they will blend new material in with the old material. So we hope you found this video useful. If you did, go down below, hit like, hit subscribe, tune in for more awesome videos. This may just be another tool in your toolbox to help keep your chicken house warm, so that you don't have to rely on things like heat lamps, kerosene heaters, space heaters, all the stuff that burns your chicken house down, right? Yeah, we want to keep the girls warm, but we don't want to roast them in the chicken house, so to speak. So Charlotte and I have other chores to get done here this morning, as well as plenty of cups of tea to drink. So we'll let you go for now. We hope you have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.